Hello and welcome to week 7 of Paris Marathon training, and today we have got my longest run of the training block so far, 26 kilometers to tackle. Not gonna lie, I'm not looking forward to this one at all. My legs are not feeling good this week. I did a 142 kilometer cycle earlier in the week, and it's just made my training a bit skew-iff this week. I did a track tempo session yesterday and I felt just weak. My legs are aching a little bit as well, so just let me get all them excuses in to begin with. But other than that, it's gonna be a good day, so come along and see how we get on this beastly long run. First off, we need to fuel correctly, so let's get some breakfast in the system. Go-to fueling for this kind of thing and cycling is always toasted muffin or a bagel and a coffee. But sometimes when I am doing a big session, so a massive bike ride or a long run like this, I will sip on a super carb drink mix in the morning ahead of the actual exercise. Now I mainly use that drink mix on the bike and it's worked extremely well for me, so I wanted to try and incorporate it into my running. I see quite a few people actually recently doing a similar thing. So hopefully it'll work for me. It's just a case of getting my belly used to drinking on the go, basically. With running, it's not quite as easy to fuel. You can't just eat whatever you want and then start running. You'll just end up with a bad stitch. Whereas on the bike, you could pretty much eat a full roast dinner and then the next minute get out on the bike and you'd be fine. Disaster has struck. We have run out of coffee. Oh God. So the plan I'm on is a 16-week marathon training plan from Runna. They are basically a company or an app who make bespoke running plans, anything from couch to 5K through to ultra marathons. I am running the Paris Marathon with them. I absolutely live by their training app. It is unbelievably good, especially if you are looking to get a bit of structure into your running. It's super flexible as well. You decide how many days you want to run a week and then you put in a sort of goal time for whatever race it is and it will spit out a bespoke plan for you. I'm doing 4 days a week at the minute, which includes an easy run, an interval session, a tempo session, and then a long run, which is obviously what we're doing today. And I am feeling the fittest I think I've ever felt actually with the running. It's been a really good few weeks of training actually. I have strung together 6-7 weeks of consistent training now. Starting to see the progress, which is always quite motivating. I struggled massively last year, especially towards the back end of the year, to string together any consistency. I was just making no progress. Every run felt hard, even my easy runs were just arduous, which makes it not enjoyable. But I started to find my mojo again with it and enjoy it, which is always good. Ultimately, what's the point of doing it if you ain't enjoying it? So if you are in the market for a new training plan for running, or you just want to give it a go, if you download the Runner app from the App Store and use this code, you'll be able to get a 2-week free trial of it just to see if you fancy it or not. But I really do recommend it. It's so good. Looking like it's starting to rain. I could probably do without that today. On feet, we are rocking the Saucony Endorphin Speed 3s, been loving these for all kinds of things really, long runs, speed runs, anything. Seem to be able to do it all. Made it to the place I'm going to be running at today. It's called Middlewood Way. It is basically an old train line that's been converted into just a trail, so it's super long and super flat. Slight change of plan. I need the loo basically, and I couldn't think of a toilet to go to in proximity to where I was. Needing the toilet but not being able to go because you can't find a toilet has got to be one of the top 3 worst things of all time. Right, I think we're sorted now. Gonna try again in a minute. Right, and we're out on the move. That was some masterful procrastination on my part. It's now nearly 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I should be done with the run by now, but I'm just setting off. That's how it is sometimes, but what can you do about it? At least we're getting out. So I've got a bit of water that I'm going to dump in a minute. Don't want to be carrying that stuff, it's just awkward. I've got with me 3 gels. I'll take one every 45 minutes or so, I reckon. I'm going to be out here for about 2.5 hours, I think.
So the session today, 26k total volume, split into 2 different sections. 13k at comfortable pace, which for me is like 5:30 to 6 minutes per kilometre, and then the last 13 kilometres at a slightly quicker pace, closer to 5 minutes per kilometre. So a fairly straightforward session, but I know it'll be hard by the end. 5 kilometres down, 27 minutes and 40 seconds I think it was. Feel alright. Usually the first few kilometres of any run I do feel awful, but today we're okay. So last weekend's long run was 24 kilometres, today's is 26. Then I have a deload week, which is basically just reducing the mileage a little to let the legs recover, and then we start building again. I think the long run after that is 28 and then 30 all the way up to 34 in the coming weeks. But yeah, we are fully in the thick of training at the minute. My weekly mileage is looking nice on the Strava graph, and that's why we do it, innit, really. And speaking of marathons, I am buzzing to get myself to Paris. It's one of the biggest marathons in the world, so it should be a mad experience. It'll be my 3rd marathon actually, but the first one I've actually trained for. I was lucky enough last year to get the opportunity to run Valencia and New York with Sports Direct and New Balance, but it was a last minute opportunity, so I had no time to train properly for it, and they were really difficult runs for me. Valencia I did in 4 hours 34 and New York was 4 hours 39. Horrible, but unbelievable experiences. But now I've got a few under the belt and I'm training properly for Paris. We should be on for a decent time, hopefully. Just over 10 kilometres in now in 53 minutes, having 1 gel, and I'll get back to it. Let's go. But yeah, as I was saying, for Paris I am training properly, I'm training well, and by all accounts should be on for 3 hour 50, or hopefully under 4 hours at least. But I know there's a long time between now and then, anything can go wrong, so just take it day by day, and can never underestimate the marathon distance. It is ridiculous. It is a very humbling distance, and by the 35 kilometre mark in New York and Valencia, I was in an unshakable pit of misery. There was a lot of walking and a lot of pain. So the main lessons I learned from that were: 1, say yes to good opportunities that are presented your way in life, and 2, if said opportunities are marathons, try and train for them, or at least make sure you've got some kind of good base level of fitness that'll get you by. Right, second half of the run is underway. 13 kilometres to go. Let's pick up the pace a little bit and see how we go.
Hey, nowadays the pain follow me. Deal with trauma privately. I don't wanna be a burden, I handle things defiantly. Spent a decade searching for a higher power guiding me. Figured out that faith is not up there, that it's inside of me. Act with execution, what's a plan with zero action? Faced with bad habits, knowing it's a magnet to my imbalance.
Oh, the first bit of it is uphill. Oh, it's rinsing me a bit, this, to be honest. Oh, 10k to go. Go on. Bit of Nick Bear podcast in my ears. That bloke just spouts verbal gold when it comes to motivation for a run. Recommend. Right, another 5k down in 25 minutes, bang on pace. 8k to go. Come on. Fucking hell. Hamstrings going. Quick stretch and we're back to it. Oh god. Oh god. Don't feel good. Half marathon down, last 5k to go. Buckle up. Oh, this is going to be a grind. Oh, just having a minute. I'm struggling, if I'm honest. Struggling quite a bit. I'm holding just under 5 minutes per kilometre pace. Oh, it's just hard, man. 1.5 kilometres to go. Left hamstring, just left the track again. It's so weak, it's embarrassing. I need to sort it out. Every single long run I do, I have issues with it. 2 laps of the track left, let's go. Oh God. Oh, I'm laughing, but fuck me, I'm in pain.
Oh God, and there we have it. 26 kilometers done and dusted. That was hard work. Had to properly slog out them last 7 kilometers. My left hamstring is just pathetic. It just leaves the chat all the time on these long runs. Anything above 20 kilometers and it just goes. I'm all hamstring, no glute. My glute's just a passenger when I'm doing these long runs. I don't know how to like activate them properly, and I just feel my hamstrings take the full brunt of everything, which is problematic. I need to sort that out. But anyway, we finished it, and that is what counts. So 26 kilometers in 2 hours and 14 minutes. Decent. It was my 3rd fastest half marathon. Average pace overall of 5 minutes and 11 seconds per kilometre. Good going for me, that. First 13 kilometres was done at 5 minutes and 22 per kilometre, and then we put the foot down a little bit for the second half and averaged 5 minutes per kilometre. Over 13 kilometres, which is solid for me. I'm pleased with that, I am pleased with that. It was just, it's humbling, innit? Some of these workouts, when you're struggling and in the trenches and in the moment, you just think it's quite deflating when you're finding it that hard, but it's what it's all about. Got to get out of your comfort zone to get better at this kind of thing. So I'm going to do a bit of a cool down because my legs are stiff as anything. So I'm going to have a protein shake that I made before I left, and then I'm going to spend the rest of the day chilling out because we are supposed to be going mountain biking tomorrow, which should be good. Not been mountain biking in a few months. But yeah, thank you for watching if you have made it this far. Probably going to do some more long run videos on the channel. I know a lot of it is cycling content, but because running's the priority for me at the minute, I'm going to just try and do more content around it. So hopefully you enjoyed it. But yeah, nice one. I will end it there and have a good weekend.